This nibble originally aired on RSBANDB Update, episode 864. Zamorak did nothing wrong. Enjoy.
It's interesting how they've gone really surprisingly beefy on the post-quest dialogue here, when previously the approach seems to have been no post-quest dialogue at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, so as Anadra, you suggest to him that he can try siphoning the eggs. As Anadra says, I would gladly attempt it, but regrettably I don't yet have the constitution to take Zamorak's place. Perhaps if we had a few more decades, I could withstand it, but right now it would destroy me.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
And he says, I will not let this be the end.
Mm-hmm.
So there's some sort of plan that he's aware of, that Saren is aware of, that Zamorak is aware of, that can be acted upon here. And I wonder, are we about to be just taken for a ride here? You know, we are the World Guardian after all, but are we just about to be taken for a ride here by these gods in terms of fixing this problem?
Remember the Blood Warden in City of Sentiston had a phrase for each front, and then the final one was, they will all betray you.
Sorry, one at a time here. Questcaping, where was this?
So in City of Sentiston, you fight the Blood Warden. It has various dialogue lines, including one that references each front in turn. And then there's one last line of dialogue there that's where he says, they will all betray you. There's been a lot of theorizing about what that could mean, and yeah, doesn't it feel relevant now?
It does, because Zamorak has just betrayed us, or at least...
Has he, though?
Right, and see, that's the thing. If you're on the side of shaking the box to get a better solution, this is the thing to do. Because,
just depends on there being a better solution.
Because, well, no, and, you know, there are people in the world who are notorious for this, for... Everybody has their own view of what is acceptable and what is just, you know, the accepted state of affairs. There are people who can shake the box out there and make things happen seemingly out of nothing. And, you know, one of the ones I always like to go back to on this, and talking real world now, is always able to do this, was Steve Jobs. In terms of, in effect,
he wouldn't have done that if he didn't think there was a better solution and have ideas.
Yeah, exactly. That. And that's what shaking the box means. So
Zamorak never would have gone there in the first place.
And
he probably saw this as one of the off-ramps to take.
And then once he realized, hey, this isn't working.
It's just a question of the right time and getting one of his generals to do it. In this case, Khazard.
Yeah, he sent Khazard out to do it. He has, scores of other people he can send up to do stuff too.
You know, I still disagree. I think, Zamorak is honestly the kind of person who would just shake things up for the sake of shaking things up, not knowing if there is a better solution yet. And I think there's a lore book in game which has him demonstrating to Moya his philosophy, where he literally burns down a village that's just become stagnant in society, burns it down and lets them come up with whatever. And they don't have anything in place at the time they burn it down. They're forced to come up with something. So I think this is just him forcing us to come up with something, not that he necessarily has anything.
And I strongly disagree with it being called a betrayal, because what did he gain from this?
Fair enough. He says to himself, all he gets is, I die free.
Yeah.
And with that, he's also able to open up in effect, break that loop of what just would have been a continual case of reanimating dead people, first through necromancy and then through the Eye of Head. Yeah.
Than just people.
Right, obviously. And
Can I bring up...
Yeah. I just want to say first that I think that this is definitely something that, looking on this, not being a Zamorak fan ever, this is something I can get behind.
Hey.
Go ahead.
So we have the other Zamorakians in the Elder God Wars saying various things. Zamorak says he can only raise these ragged corpses so many times. If Lord Zamorak has retreated to formulate a plan, he had best reveal it soon. Haziel says, this has changed the situation somewhat. Begone, I must think on what this means. Nemora and Avarice are very committed to keeping on hunting in spite of Zamorak's absence.
Right.
Krill Tutsaroff says, no matter, he knows he can leave this fight to his most trusted warriors. And then gets extremely battle-worthy type, die, Nodon, the Lord of Chaos demands your slaughter. So that's Krill for you. And Inakra
He's not abandoning.
No, not when Krill's about.
Exactly.
And Inakra has quite some interesting dialogue. You ask her, why don't you leave like Zamorak? And Inakra says, well, silly me, why didn't I think of that? You don't just walk away from a fight with an Archglacior, World Guardian. If we are to retreat without being summarily crushed, it must be carefully coordinated. Besides, some of us still live here. Player says, you want to save Gielinor? And Inakra says, this world is rife with folly, weakness, and wasted potential. But it is not without its charms. I will not let it die, not while I have any other choice. So yeah, she had some rather substantial dialogue there. It's interesting to see a Margaret really just sort of considering Gielinor home.
You can find full episodes of RSBANDB Update right here on this YouTube channel. If you found this video useful or just enjoyed it, like and subscribe, or leave a comment.